Good morning, everyone. There's a very famous verse in this week's Torah portion where God blesses Jacob that his children will be spread out all over the world. And God says, Ufaratzta, you will spread out, you will go forth, Yama, westward, Vakedma, eastward, Safona, north, Vanegba, into the south. And the question that's asked is, why are the four directions of the earth that the Jewish people will be spread out all over the world to have a presence and to bring the message of Torah and be a light unto the nations? Why is it not clockwise or counterclockwise? Why is it to the west, to the east, to the north, and to the south? And one beautiful answer is that there's a passage in the Talmud that says Yeshuat Hashem, the salvation of God, keheref ayin, can come in the blink of an eye. Sometimes we think that salvation has to come gradually, it has to be a progression from stage to stage. And the rabbis say, no, it can come in the blink of an eye. And therefore the message is from the west to the east, from the north to the south, like a pendulum that swings from one extreme to the other. Things can change, things can improve, things can get better in the blink of an eye. But perhaps there's a second answer to this, and that is that embedded in this blessing is that even though the Jewish people will be spread out to all four corners of the earth, as far as east to west, north to south, since they are all coming with one purpose, with one common mission, with one sense of purpose, uparatzta, you will go forth from one place, from Israel, with the message of Judaism. Therefore, even if you are at all four ends of the earth, you will still be close and connected to one another. And this is something we're seeing today in a remarkable way. Jews in all four corners of the earth have never felt closer to one another. You know, in life, it's not about how physically close you are. You could be standing right next to someone, and you could be miles and miles away. And you could be at the other end of the earth from someone, and you can feel so close and connected to that person. And therefore, the message of the Jewish people is, as long as we are coming with one common destiny and purpose and mission, and we are connected to God and to our connection, our soul, are bonded and intertwined with one another. As long as we are one, emotionally, spiritually, in our heart and soul, even if we find ourselves at the ends of the earth, we always know that we come from one source, from God, and our love for one another makes us feel as though we are standing side by side with one another. We felt this just 2 days ago. We just returned from a trip to New York. A group of men from the shul went on a trip to New York. We spent one day in Manhattan, and then on the second day we went to Crown Heights. We spent time in the Rabbi's home, in the Rabbi's office, in the Rabbi's synagogue. We visited different institutions. We experienced learning in a yeshiva with hundreds and hundreds of boys. And then we went to pray at the Rebbe's Ohel for our loved ones and for the Jewish people around the world. But on Sunday, one of the things we did was we took a bike ride through Central Park. It was a beautiful sunny day. We rented bicycles and we went through the park. As we were having this wonderful bike ride, there were two Palestinian guys on their bicycles playing Palestinian music, wearing like the Palestinian flag wrapped around their neck. And we just drove by them, and when he saw us, a group of Jews, he started to scream, Palestina, Palestina. So we just said, Am Yisrael Chai. And then when we came to a turn in the park, we made a left, and we realized he turned around and started to follow us. And then he stopped in front of us and started to yell and shout and scream at us and curse us out, using every profanity. He was foaming from his mouth with hatred. So we stopped our bicycles and we just started to sing, Am Yisrael Chai. And the more we sang with love and unity, the angrier he got, and the more he started shouting, to the point that he came right up to our faces, and we were eyeball to eyeball. He was yelling in our face, screaming at it, cursing out Israel, you're killing babies, you're killing women. And we were just calm and singing, Am Yisrael Chai. And none of us backed down until finally his friend pulled him away. But for 5 minutes, he was yelling and cursing, and we were just responding with a prayer that the Jewish people will live on with strength. And here we were, face to face. We weren't even an inch away from him, but our hearts and our minds couldn't be further away from one another. But while we were singing Am Yisrael Chai, we were connected with our brothers and sisters in Israel and around the world. And while we may have been thousands and thousands of miles away, we felt that they were standing right alongside of us. Ufaratz the Yom V'Keima, spread out to all four corners of the earth. But always remember, no matter how distant you are physically, that's not what determines your relationship. Just like in human relationships, you could be standing alongside someone and feel no connection to that person. You could feel your worlds apart. So too in the reverse, you could be physically worlds apart, at edge of the other end of the world, but you feel so close and connected that you feel like the person is physically with you in your presence. With that love, with that unity, with that oneness, with that common sense of purpose and mission and destiny and faith in God, we will always, as we always have, will always continue to overcome all of our enemies through our love and unity. Have a wonderful day.